There it is. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of The Carrier Experience on the way right about.
The Carrier Experience Podcast is a show for anyone who wants to grow their agency and be a titan of the insurance industry. Learn from a panel of experts who share their agency struggles, their experiences with the nation's best carriers, and share the marketing secrets that successful insurance agents are using today. Now, here's your host, the insurance bro, James Cias.
Go ahead.
Never gets old.
It never does. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time again. Before we jump into the show, a quick reminder to please subscribe on whichever platform you're listening to us on. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe, and drop a review. It's going to help us show up higher on those search results so that all of those insurance agents out there looking for some value, some education can find us that much easier. That much more easily. Yeah, that'll work better. Anyway, I sincerely appreciate it. If you could just do that for me, thank you so much. Other than that, we have an awesome show lined up for y'all today. What are we going to talk about today, bro?
10 tips for new agents.
10 tips for new insurance agents. So I think we'll define new as somebody who has recently been licensed, probably like a year or less. Because I was talking about this the other day. I've been in the insurance industry for 6 years and I still feel like a newbie a lot of times. There's so much to learn in the insurance space. You're never going to know it all. But when we're talking about new agents, we're talking about those brand new to the game. So I'd say, a year or less, right?
New newbies. Yeah. The ones
new
who have
newbies.
Just got their license. They're looking for a home. They're trying to get appointments. They're realizing that they can't get appointments right off the bat. So they're looking at different agencies. They don't know if they're going to go exclusive or they're going to go with an independent broker. They have no idea what to do, but they do have deals to write because, friends, family, and some stuff that they're excited about. Those are the kind of people that we're looking for at the very beginning. Freshly licensed.
Absolutely are freshly licensed. And for what it's worth, that's actually what we really specialize in over here at Pipeline Insurance. So if you are a brand new agent, we're going to go through our 10 tips. This is taken from ThinkAdvisor.com. It's an article at ThinkAdvisor.com, so you can feel free to check that out. But if you are interested in becoming an agent, if you're looking for a home, find us at pipelineinsurance.com/agent opportunities, and we'll be happy to talk about what a strategic partnership might look like. So with all of that being said, you ready to jump into this?
Let's do it. Tip number 1.
Tip number 1, brush up on your customer service skills. Now, we did a show the other day, and this was one of the points on that one. I think it was like eight ways to be a top agent or something like that. It was all about customer service. So here we are, right back at it. And the very first thing that they say is brush up on your customer service skills. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think there's also a difference between customer service and customer experience, right? So we're reading this book right now, and I don't remember, I think it's Never Lose a Client Again, right? And they're talking a lot about the feelings you have as a new customer. Think about when you buy something, everything from like you just got turned on to this thing. You're like, ooh, that's something amazing. That's something cool, to the point where
let me throw this one at you. Have you ever bought an Apple product?
Yes.
Right?
Holding one in my hand.
You just bought an Apple product. So what was that feeling like when you opened that box and like the way that they design, even the way that they pack their stuff, right?
Everything, like the sleekness of it, the way it's presented, the welcoming to a group, because I'd never had an iPhone before, right? So like, people are like, hey, welcome to the club. Like there's a lot of the entire
and then you had the other people You had all
Like,
of the
Shake harder, boy.
yeah, you had all of the Android people going traitor, traitor.
Traitor. It is what it is. But no, but that's kind of what I'm talking about here, right? So the experience that you have versus the customer service, right? Customer service today, I feel, is for the most part expected. You're expected to take care of your clients. You're expected to make sure that, you know, their paperwork is in order, that their insurance policy gets bound the right way, that their premiums get paid to the correct carrier. You're expected to do these things. But giving your client an experience that they won't forget, that's a little bit different. That takes a little bit of you really focusing your attention on how do they feel when they first meet a particular client? How do they feel when they first pay for something? How do they feel? Do they, you know, that phase of buyer remorse? Are you consciously thinking of the emotions that your customer has through this process? And I think that's where you start digging into that customer experience part, because all of a sudden you're focusing all your processes, all your systems on how that customer feels, so that they have a good experience and they want to share that experience with other people.
Definitely. They want to share that. They want to refer people. I think when it comes to customer service, it's in the insurance game, it's also big on education. Education is one thing, and understanding what your workflow might look like after the fact. So if you talk to somebody who, let's say, buys a homeowner's policy from you, there's not a lot of customer service that comes after the fact with that. You know, there's a 6-month call or a 1-year call that you might want to make to check in with them and see if anything in their home has changed. Maybe it's somebody who just bought a house and then they went and upgraded their kitchen. You want to make sure to take care of that customer and update the reconstruction cost estimator so that all of the correct building materials are listed in the policy. So that's one part of it. The other part of it is if you are trying to focus on a more complex line of business, let's say trucking, for example, you got to understand that with trucking insurance, you will have to provide certificates of insurance over and over and over again. And sometimes they're showing up at the docks at 5 o'clock in the morning because that's when the gates open up, and you're expected to have that COI ready to go for them either the day before. I mean, if they call you at 6 o'clock and they say, hey, I'm showing up at Long Beach Pier tomorrow and I need this certificate of insurance and it has to have all this information, you got to be there for that.
You got to be able to rock and roll. You are that point of contact.
100%.
Number two.
Number two,
never forget that.
Never forget that you are in sales. Salesperson is a dirty word, right? Salesman is a dirty word.
We try to change that all the time, right? Like, what are you? I am an insurance professional. I am I help my customers achieve whatever. Look, your why statement is one thing. That's great. That's what gets you going in the morning. But don't forget, at the end of the day, the bottom line is you earn a commission, and if you don't earn that commission, you don't eat. And I heard a saying a long time ago, secret agents have skinny kids. If you are not getting in front of people and telling them what it is you do, you are not getting in front of people, telling them what it is you do so that they can buy from you, because that's really what it comes down to. You are a problem solver. You are going to help them solve a problem, right? They have a risk that needs coverage. This is what you're going to do. You're going to help provide the solution to their problem. You just have to remember that you are in sales. You're not doing this for free. You're providing a quality service, and it's okay that you get paid for your service. It is okay. Yeah, I give you 100%. Permission to get paid for the information that you're providing your clients, for the coverage that you're providing your clients.
Yep, 100%. And, you know, to dig a little bit deeper on that, getting in front of people, telling them what it is you do. I cannot tell you how many times a new agent has come to me and said, man, as soon as I posted on Instagram that I'm doing insurance now, my messages were flooded, right? I got 3, 4, 5 people just, hey, I need insurance. I'm paying way too much for my car insurance, blah, blah, blah. I got this business. I got this house. I got this rental property. I got all this stuff, and I need an insurance agent. If you are not taking it upon yourself to get in front of people, to post that you're an insurance agent, to put it in your profile, to talk about it constantly. There was one experience that I had. I remember this at karaoke, and I walked up to karaoke to sing my song, and I had a Business Bros shirt on. And the karaoke DJ, I'd been going to the same place for like a year at this point, and the karaoke DJ looks over and says, I didn't know you had a podcast. I've been doing this podcast every single day, but I guess I haven't been talking about it to other people in my social circle. So, none of my friends were listening to it. After that, not too long after that, he actually came on the show. But again, you're in sales, and if people don't know what you're doing, there's no opportunity for them to buy from you. Secret agents have skinny kids. I love that.
Boom. All right, number 3. Let's move to number 3. Find a full team of people to support you.
This is awesome for us because we are a full team here and ready to support you. I'm going to be 100% honest, man. I'm going to tell you this. We dropped the ball for one of our agents the other day, and I have been beating myself up about it because when it comes right down to it, I have really, really high expectations for myself and for my team. And when my team does not perform the way that it's supposed to, I have no one to blame but myself. I wrote, an email, a message to that team, and I said, hey, look, guys, we failed, right? As a group, we failed, but it's my fault. It's my fault that we failed. And I know that these are the things that I need to do to make sure that we fix it. When you have a team of people that's there to support you, that takes personal responsibility, that is not going to shift the blame to anybody else. I didn't say this is your fault because this is your job. You're supposed to be the one that does this. I didn't go after this person and say, why weren't you there to help them out? You know that they're new. I didn't go after any of these people. I said, this is on me. I didn't do my job in supporting them. And that's what a good full team of people is going to do. They're going to take that personal responsibility for your success.
So if you're a newly licensed agent and you're trying to get into the insurance business and you're out there, look, as much as you have brokers interviewing you, you're also interviewing them. Remember that you're going to plant your butt in a chair and you're going to start building your practice. And if you're going to do it for for an independent broker, you're going to do it for an exclusive broker, you need to be asking those types of questions. Figure out who's on their team. Do they have somebody helping you on the commercial side? Do they have somebody helping you on the personal line side? Are they putting together binder packs for you? Is there a marketing team? How are they going to help you generate more business? Are they going to teach you to talk to clients? There's all these different pieces of getting started in the insurance space. And if you're going to find a team that is missing some of these pieces, that's the gap that you either need to fill or understand that there are other teams that have complete packages. So we encourage you guys to check out our stuff. Go to pipelineinsurance.com/agent opportunities to see the entire team that we have on the package, because we want to make sure that you have that we interview for you as much as you interview for us.
Boom. I love it. Number 4. Whoops, you clicked it before me.
Dress for success. You know, it's funny, dude.
Does the polo work?
The polo works. And here's the thing. This was written a little while ago. This is probably a pre-COVID thing, but let's be honest.
For sure. This is 2019 though.
2019, right?
Oh no, 2015 even.
2015.
Anyway.
So look, back in the day, I remember being in high school and we'd have certain dress for success days, and we'd have to come to school and we'd wear, slacks and the button-up shirt and the tie, and all that was great. But really for me, this is a mental thing. This is like when you're on the phone, make sure you smile, even though the other person can't see you smiling. It gives you that ability to bring that energy that you're looking. You feel more professional if you're dressed professionally.
100%.
You sound like you have more energy when you're smiling on the phone. All these things are going to help you out. Yes. Do you even have to wear pants in the COVID world? Probably not, because you're on a Zoom call. Do I suggest you wear pants?
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah. And do I suggest you wear pants? Absolutely. Get yourself dressed up so that you feel confident about what you're going to be talking about. You feel like you're ready to have a conversation in a professional setting. And just that ability for you to dress for success, to put yourself in that mindset, is going to give you leaps and bounds ahead of the people who are not dressed accordingly. Now,
100%. Now let's talk about a little bit of post-COVID world, right? Because exactly what you're talking about is something that I've seen people fall into the habit of over the past 6 months. People that have been working from home are staying in their pajamas longer. For me, it's so important for me to have my morning routine. I get up at 4:40. I do the 5 a.m. Justice League call. I do a workout. I go for a run. I take a shower, make myself a little breakfast, this whole thing. But like in the meantime, I get dressed. I got jeans on. All right, I'm wearing flip-flops, which I wouldn't do if I was at the office. But whatever. They're my inside shoes. They're my home shoes. But and then the polo. This is what I was wearing when I was going to the office. Nothing changed. I kept my routine the same because getting dressed for work puts me in the mindset of, all right, now it's work time. I know the things that I got to do. I've got my to-do list up there on the whiteboard. I've got my weekly planner sitting right here. I know what my goals are. And every day from, 9 to 5 are like my insurance hours, but really like I'm nonstop working. But as long as I have my polo and my jeans on, like this is work time.
This is work time. All right. Tip number 5, relate to your prospects or clients.
Going back to Dress for Success, have you ever heard that story about what was it? It was like a financial planner who wore a suit and tie, like a 3-piece suit and tie and Italian shoes, and had, a really nice Mercedes or Jaguar or something like that. And he goes to meet his prospect, who is like the top farmer in Nebraska, right? And he drives onto this farm and it's muddy and it's wet and he ruins his Italian shoes and, his 3-piece suit, his slacks are all muddy and crusty when he leaves, and he doesn't get the sale, right? There's no way that this suited guy can talk to the farmer. The farmer shows up in flannel and jeans and boots and whatever, and the next insurance agent who comes up in flannel, boots, and jeans because he knows exactly what he's getting into, that's the one that's going to get the sale.
Look, it comes down to, you got to be a personable person. You got to. When we talk about niches and we talk about finding your ideal client and creating your avatar for who your ideal client is, a male version, a female version, whatever it is, you're going to find that oftentimes you start describing a lot of your own characteristics. That's because you're going to resonate with people who are like you, and you shouldn't really shy away from some of your own little things. Maybe you are a sports fan and you love watching baseball and you love outdoor stuff, and that is who you are. Use that in defining who the clients that you want to spend time with. Because let's face it, you're going to spend a lot of time with your clients. You're going to spend a lot of time with them talking on the phone. You're going to spend a lot of time with them via email conversations. You're going to be, getting to know these people. Might as well be people that you intend and like to spend time with, doing very similar things.
If you're like me, you'll like me.
Exactly. This game of sales is very niched. You don't need a ton of clients to be successful in the sales space, but you do need a core. Like, if you can find over your career a core 1,000 people, 1,000 raving fans, people that you connect with every single year, that's like 3 people a day that you're connecting with every single day, right? If you can connect with these people on a regular basis, and these are your core customer base, you will have a very successful business with 1,000 people. Now, we don't start off with 1,000. But our niche is really focused. If we focus on finding that ideal client that is strictly defined by our avatar, it's very focused. Our messaging is very focused. We're talking to a specific person, and those specific people will refer to other people who are not so laser focused in your niche, but they have similar things, right? If you're very much a baseball fan, not everybody who you're going to do business with is a baseball fan, but they will refer you, those people that you're focusing on will refer you to other friends and family. It will grow that way, but your messaging has to start off very niched. You have to relate to your prospects or your clients so you can build that good rapport, so you build that good referral base.
I don't remember what it was that I was reading or listening to, but something recently was saying that so many times we try to figure out who our target market is, and most of the time our target market is ourselves, right? So like, for example, this podcast, I'm 6 years in the business, and the people that I've interviewed so far are 19 years in the business and 15 years in the business and 18 years in the business. And I get to learn from them. And that's one of the things that I'm excited about when it comes to this podcast. And one of the things that I want to bring value to for other agents who are like me, who have been in the industry for a while, but obviously none of us knows everything. We all get an opportunity to learn from one another.
All right. Number 6. Proofread all written communication.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
You are.
You're, and you're there, and there. I mean, yeah, okay, you got a bunch of those. Maybe English isn't your first language. Maybe it's not your forte. So, you're going to do the best that you can, but there absolutely is a lot that you can do in your messaging when you're sending out emails. Man, I don't want to put them on blast, but
Well, let me give you an example of one here. So in the sales game, there's gonna come a time where you're frustrated. It could be something related
oh
to your
yeah,
business. It could be something that happened outside in your personal life. It could be whatever happens at the 11th hour of the big deal that you were about to close. Something happens and boom, what you thought was going to be a payday turns into nothing, right? So you have these frustrations that happen. One of the things that I've seen over and over across the industries, especially when it comes to proofreading all this stuff, is sometimes you're going to let your emotions out, and you do not want to let them out in a written format when you're heated, right?
yes. Oh
Type
my
it out.
God,
Type it out. Go ahead.
send
Write
it
it
to
all out.
yourself.
Send it to yourself. Let it sit in your drafts, but then come back and read it after a 24-hour cool-off period. Come
Yes.
back and read it. And that's one of the proofreading things where you'll be able to verify. There are some things you need to send out immediately and they're urgent and you read them the best you can. These are things that you're dealing with specific clients, binder packs, all these kinds of last minute underwriting type stuff. That's fine. But when we're talking about emotion here, right? Emotions, you don't want to say things that might come off incorrectly. Using exclamation points too much. I'm a victim. I do that a lot, right? Using exclamation points too
Caps
much, not
lock.
using quotes, using cap lock, using bold, right? Whatever you're going to write, understand that the person reading it doesn't always understand the emotion that you have behind your words. So proofread all your communications as best you can. If you're in a heated state, type it up, leave it in your inbox, give yourself that 24-hour cool period, and then come back and see if this is something you truly want to send.
And I'm going to throw this on here. Mom says, if you smile while on the phone, your caller can feel your smile and knows it. 100% true. What if you smile while you're writing your email?
It's kind of hard to do if you're pissed,
Right?
right? But
I mean, it
help.
is, but
It'll help.
try it. It'll help. The only other thing that I wanted to add to this is clear communication. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you are in the insurance industry. Insurance is very legal centric. All right. So if you write something in an email that is not crystal clear to your intention, it can be misread. It can be construed against you. Anything that you write, it's on the record, and it can and will be used against you in litigation. So make sure that you are clear in your messaging. You type out full, complete sentences that, subject, noun, verb, whatever, just make sure that it's clear and understandable, and it's the message that you want to get across.
Perfect. Tip number 7.
Tip number 7, transparency is important during the sales process and after. Going back to one of these episodes that we did recently, authenticity is my superpower. I am one person that you will find does not lie. I'm really bad at it. And also, when it comes to insurance, last thing you want to do is get caught in any kind of a lie, misrepresentation. That is bad, 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 bad. So make sure that you understand what your coverages are, the ones that you're providing to your customer, what endorsements you're providing, and give as much information as you possibly can around those. And even more so when there are things holding up the process, because this does happen all the time. We get underwriters reviewing things. We've got, maybe it gets bound. I've seen this happen where we bind a policy, a homeowner's policy, and then the inspector goes out and there's something wrong with the roof. And now we need to go back and rewrite the policy because they're going to cancel for the roof, or they want you to talk to your customer and say, hey, will you get the roof done in the next 30 days? If they're willing to, then they'll extend it, but all of these things, all of these conversations, as hard as they might be, need to happen during the sales process and after. The measure of your success is commensurate with the amount of difficult conversations that you're able to have. So if it's a difficult conversation, have it anyway.
Think of it like when you go to the doctor, right? If you were sitting at the doctor's office and sadly you were diagnosed with something like cancer, right? And the doctor didn't come out and just tell you this is the situation. If he was like, yeah, you know what? I mean, you're good. I mean, yeah, I don't know. You got a few months
You're
here.
probably gonna be
You're
fine.
probably going to be fine. There is a chance, life is everything. It's just beating around the bush, not giving you a solid answer. You're going to be pissed because you're not getting the answer that you want. As bad as the news is, you need to be able to deliver the information and let the client decide what they're going to do, what their course of action is going to be. Your job is not to make the decision for the client. Your job is to lay down the options that your client has and let them make the decision. So don't take personal offense. It's not your fault, right? So my background is in real estate. If I go and I list a house and the house is a disaster, I mean, it is full with all kinds of hoarder stuff. The termites have taken toll on the building. That listing does not reflect on me, the person, right? That is not my house. I didn't do that to the place. All I'm doing is representing the seller. I am going to relay whatever messaging that I get from potential buyers because that's my job. Transparency is important. Same with you. When you present whatever it is that you're doing in the risk assessment that you're providing your client, it's not up to you to decide what they should or shouldn't do. Your job is to lay everything out. If things change afterwards, your job is to come back and say, hey, I know we discussed this, but based on what we've found, this is the new information. Here are your choices. Let them decide. It's up to them.
100% transparency. Just communicate all of those different things. Number 8. Learn how to market yourself. I'm going to let you take this one.
Why? Because this is me?
Because this is you. This is what you do.
Again, skinny agents have...
Skinny
secret
agents have secret kids.
Yeah, secret kids. I hope not, right? Secret agents have skinny kids. And it really comes down to how are you going to get in front of people and tell them what it is you do? That is the simple thing that you need to understand in the sales game. You need to get in front of people and tell them what it is you do. Now, you can do this traditionally. You can pick up the phone. You can knock on doors. Even with a COVID mask, I have kids I call them kids,
lead generate.
Younger, right? Yeah, they come by and knock on doors. 5 things that you should be doing on a daily basis. 5 things.
Just say the one, because the number 2 is
lead
next.
Generate. All right. Yeah. Well, I'll still say all 5. Lead generate, lead follow up, present, negotiate, and close. Those are the things that you should be doing on a regular basis if you're in sales, hands down. So right now is the lead generation. You can do it in Facebook ads. Sure you can. You can do it building a YouTube channel. Sure you can. You can do it building a podcast. Sure you can. The point is, how are you going to get in front of people? Tell them what it is you do. The second part is, when you do talk to them, how can you get them to take action? What action do you want them to take? Have those things in mind when you're talking to people, when you're going to talk to people. Who are you going to talk to? What action do you want them to take? And the rest will kind of deliver. We have a 30-day training program for our agents. If you want to come on board to Pipeline Insurance, where we have a marketing and training, we're going to help you take your book of business, whatever it is that you have. We call it a book of business. It could be the contacts in your Gmail for all we know. But whatever it is, we're going to teach you how to take that information and turn it into sales calls, turn it into convert those leads into prospects, convert those prospects into business, because that's what it's all about, right? Your presentation of what you're doing. Number 9. Sorry about that. My bad.
Be persistent. So this is that number 2 point that you were talking about. So number 1, learn how to market yourself. That's lead generation. Number 2, lead follow up. Be persistent.
And here's what it comes down to, and we'll give you the tips that we've been doing for our own podcast. When we talk to somebody to be a guest on the show, and we've been doing, obviously the carrier experience, we're getting started, we're getting a few here and there. But on the Business Bros podcast, right? On the Business Bros podcast, we book out 8 weeks in advance. The first contact we have is the very first time they reach out to be on the show. The second point of contact that we have is we send them a promo that we want them to put on their own Instagrams, and we give them access on how to promote their show the best way possible. That's the second point of contact. The third point of contact is the day we actually interview them. Then after that, we send them an email the next day, giving them the full interview and the audio for them to use for their own social media. That's 4 touches. And then when the episode actually goes out to Spotify and iTunes, then we notify them again, sending them more information on how they can share that particular podcast. We talk to them 5 times, and each time we're bringing them something of value. That's what persistence is. You're not over communicating. You think you might be. You might think, I don't need to call at 6 o'clock. It's dinner time. It's lunchtime. I'll call a little bit later. That's your own excuses in your own head. Your job is to talk to them on a regular basis. I heard this from Tim and Julie Harris. Your job is to follow up until they either do business with you or they give you a restraining order. One of those two things, right? And I'm just kidding about the restraining order. But my point is, when you believe that you're over communicating, chances are you're not. You're under communicating. Yep. Your clients want to know what's going on. You don't know what's going on in their life. It could be, their kids are going to soccer practice, or, we're taking the kids to the doctor's office, or whatever's going on in their life. You don't know what's interrupting their day. You got to be there to remind them. Your job is to make sure they know that their timeframes are coming up, that their risk is coming up, so that you can take care of them. You are that knight in shining armor, but only if you're persistent.
100%. All right. And number 10. What is number 10 here? Manage your own expectations. So there are so many people that get into the insurance space and they compare it, I think, to something like real estate, right? When you get your real estate license, you get signed up with an agency, maybe your cousin or your brother, your sister, your mom, they're getting ready to sell their house. And so, within your first month, you make your first commission and boom, you got $10,000 in your pocket, right? Like this instant, With insurance, it might not be that way. All right. It depends on a lot of different things. If you are getting into the personal line space, sorry to burst your bubble, that is not going to happen. The largest insurance policy on the personal line side that I've ever seen, it was a $10,000 premium for like 5 or 6 really nice cars and like 4 or 5 drivers. And I'm talking like Land Rovers and Mercedes cars, right? So if you have a ton of customers like that, then cool, you'll be all right. But, $10,000 is the premium. The commission on that is somewhere around 15%. So, $1,500. It's a different industry. So managing your own expectations is one, understanding the industry that you're getting into. Now, if you get in there and you do a life insurance policy for $1 million and they're paying, $5,000 a month, then boom, you strike it rich in your first shot for sure. But again, manage your own expectations, understand what you're getting into, and don't expect to be an overnight success. Everybody who's an overnight success has what?
Has probably been doing it for a long time. You just didn't see the 10 years. They didn't get rich quick. They got rich slow. You just didn't pay attention until overnight.
Exactly.
That's the biggest expectation there. So yeah, set your own expectations. Look, again, don't expect to be rich overnight, but by the same token, you can manage and adjust, right? So James and I look at some of our marketing campaigns. We were just looking at one today, and we look at the numbers, and then we adjust and we moderate and we change. What can we do to improve, and what kind of metric are we looking for to show that we've improved to a level where we can hit the acceleration button? So, monitor, track your stuff, make sure you're managing, you're looking, how many leads did I generate this week? How many of those leads turned into prospective clients? How many of those converted to actual deals? How many of those closed and bound? Like, there's a lot of metrics that you need to be paying attention to, a whole process. If you can measure it, you can improve it. So if you want to manage your own expectations, you need to know, what are you going to be managing? What is your expectation? Is your expectation simply to get up and show up and clock into an office? Or are you trying to build something that is long-term here, that is going to sustain you, that you're going to be an entrepreneur, that you're going to have the freedom that you're looking for, that you're going to earn the revenue that you want? Manage your expectations means you have to have expectations in the first place. And then we can adjust and modify and move from there. All right.
Boom. Dude. So there we go. 10 tips for new agents.
Remember
to subscribe, rate, and review on wherever it is that you're listening to us. If you're catching us on Facebook, please give us a follow over at The Carrier Experience. Give us a like, share with your friends. If you are catching us on YouTube Live, hit that subscribe button, the little bell, and let you know when we are live, which is every day at 2:30. Follow me on all social media at Insurance Broham. And I think that's pretty much all we've got. So for everybody listening, as always, I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me that you're paying attention, listening, and tuning in today. You all rock my socks. You have my heart. And as always, play the clip.
Have a nice day.
Have a
Thank you for tuning in to the Carrier Experience Podcast. James is the CEO of the Pipeline team of San Diego and is always in the market for top talent. If you are an agent looking for a place to hang your license, visit pipelineinsurance.com/agent opportunities or send an email to newagent@pipelineinsurance.com. You can find James on